State of Decay 3, not, obviously it wasn't at the Halloween showcase. I want to talk though about specifics on, why it wasn't at the Halloween showcase. And I think at the first glance, the reason why State of Decay 3 wasn't at the Horror Game Awards Halloween showcase is because, well, 99% of all the games that were shown at the Halloween showcase were not AAA games. They are aggressively trying, that being the Horror Game Awards, to put a spotlight on indie horror games, which is awesome. And obviously, State of Decay is a AAA game through and through. Being funded by Xbox. I mean, it's an Xbox game studio, that being Undead Labs. And so that's the first part. That's why it wasn't at the Horror Game Awards Halloween showcase. But I also think that even if there were other AAA games that made their presence known at the Halloween showcase, I think Xbox wants to control everything that's going on with their big IPs, which State of Decay is slowly but surely growing into one of their major IPs. And I think that after State of Decay 3, it will become officially a flagship IP for Xbox. So what I mean by they want to control the narrative there is they want to release the gameplay kind of on their own terms. They want to release information on their own terms. So like, as an example, could we see it, that being like gameplay for State of Decay 3 at the Game Awards? We could. I mean, it's very possible, certainly. Vandalism asks, when is the showcase? Well, the showcase, so the Horror Game Awards Halloween showcase just happened, and you can go back on our on Horror Theory and you can check. We did a watch party for the Horror Game Awards Halloween showcase, but the Horror Game Awards, which is a celebration of all things horror, especially like indie horror, is going to be sometime in December. So they're going to have that in December. The Game Awards itself, that is going to happen in December as well. And then we're going to be having a Dev Direct from Xbox, I believe in January. And then we have the Xbox Game Showcase, which has become pretty much routinely in June. And so with State of Decay 3, I think we will more than likely, guys, Jeff believes that we're going to be seeing State of Decay 3 at the Game Awards this year. I don't believe we are. I think, even though I would love to see it at the Game Awards or the Horror Game Awards, I don't think we're going to see it at either of those. I don't even think we're going to see it at the Dev Direct from Xbox. I think we're going to see it at the Xbox Game Showcase. Because number one, Xbox wants to control the narrative. They want to be in control of their IPs, like when they're showing information or gameplay or whatever, they want to be in control of that. And the next thing is that being Xbox, they want to show this game off or gameplay off to the biggest crowd they possibly can. Now, the Game Awards is a good one because there's a lot of people who watch the Game Awards. But Xbox is probably thinking, you know what, instead of paying to be on the Game Awards, let's just have it on our showcase, the Xbox Game Showcase. And we'll show it off there, which, that's going to be June of next year, which obviously seems like a long time, but it's really not far away when you really start thinking about we're in October right now and the showcase is in June. So it's going to be here before you know it. You know what I'm saying, guys? So I just don't think we're going to see State of Decay 3 at the Game Awards, the Horror Game Awards, or the Dev Direct. I think we're going to see it at the Xbox Game Showcase of 2026, which would be June. Now, if we saw it at any of those, like outside of the Xbox Game Showcase, let's say between those three, right? Horror Game Awards, the Game Awards, and the Dev Direct, which one would they show it at? It would certainly be the Game Awards. The Game Awards, guys, is being put on, Jeff Keighley, Future Game Show, Summer Game Fest, all that stuff. I mean, the same guys who put on all of those. So the Game Awards would be the best opportunity to get the biggest audience to watch and see, oh my God, we're getting gameplay for State of Decay 3, which would be absolutely huge. I believe they do have the dates for the Game Awards. I'm not sure exactly when it is. I just know it's in December. Same thing with typically the Horror Game Awards, which has only been happening for the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. And I believe that the one last year was December 14th. So I don't know if they're doing super similar to that, but I believe that we're going to be seeing the Game Awards, or I should say the Horror Game Awards will be there at some point in December. Wadey Splash says, if State of Decay 3 gets shown at the Game Awards, there's a chance it could be be on Game Dev in January, 100%. If they show it at the Game Awards, I believe that there's a very high likelihood they're going to show it at the Dev Direct or whatever in January. I'm totally with you. If they don't show it at the Game Awards, I don't think they're going to show gameplay of State of Decay 3 at the Dev Direct. I think that they would show it at a Dev Direct after the Xbox Game Showcase, because that's when I think that they would show, State of Decay 3. They would show at least something. They would just kind of give us whether it's gameplay or gameplay and a release date announcement or, something. I think we're going to get both of those things. I really do. I think we are going to more than likely get the release date as well as a gameplay trailer at the Xbox Game Showcase of 2026. That's when I think we're going to see the next time, I should say, that I think we're going to see State of Decay 3. I look at it, guys, and I say to myself, okay, we have had radio silence from State of Decay or Undead Labs, completely radio silence. Yeah, some of the developers are getting on Reddit and they're, talking about, oh, we've got all this stuff that we can't wait to show you guys. We're still working on, which is awesome. I'm glad they're doing that. I really wish they would do that on social media. Like, I'm not Reddit aside, I'm saying like X, Facebook. I mean, let everybody know, dude. Like, yo, we got tons of stuff to show you guys. I just think it would set the entire State of Decay community ablaze with excitement if you were telling everybody on all the social media platforms, just giving us updates on what's going on, so on and so forth. Even just teasing us stuff like, showing a date on a piece of paper and it's kind of blurred and it says, we'll see you guys June. And then the dates, like June is, you see June, but then you don't see everything else. Everything else is blurred. It's like, oh my God, they're going to show it at the Xbox Game Showcase. Or just give us like little, things that we can talk about as a community. I don't know. There's just been such a lack of content in my personal opinion.